everyone, welcome to day 2 of the 7-day challenge. And tonight we're exploring the power of small wins. So, the power of small wins. Before we dive in, I want to share a little bit of behind the scenes from last night. The heavens opened, there was thunder and lightning on and off all day. 1 minute it was sunny, next minute pouring down. The signal dropped 3 times. I couldn't record anything, or the signal dropped out and had to start again. And my laptop refused to behave. And to top it off, the tarot card that I had chosen, the magician, went missing right before I went live. The magician went missing. In the past, I would have panicked and I thought, that's it, I can't do this. But instead, I noticed something different and I felt calm and I stayed live anyway. That was my small win. And that's what tonight is about. How even in the middle of chaos, one small win can change everything. So the affirmation to go along with this is I notice and celebrate my achievements, even the small ones. So I'm going to give you some examples in a moment of what small wins can look like. But going back to that idea of me coming on live and recording, I'm not even sure I would have entertained it a few years ago of going live, especially for 7 days. And even in previous years when I've been asked to do something, whether it's do a presentation or stand up and talk, one of my biggest fears was that the tech didn't work because I relied so heavily on the PowerPoints. So the deeper explanation into small wins is Teresa Amabile and Stephen Kramer in 2011 talked about the progress principle. They studied thousands of employees and found that one motivating factor wasn't big bonuses or grand goals. It was making small, meaningful progress in daily work. And James Clear of Atomic Habits, habits are compound interest of self-improvement, 1% better each day, exponential change over time, hence the 30-day program and starting off light, doing the 7-day challenge. So through the psychology lens, small wins, dopamine release equals motivates you to keep going, and big goals without milestones overwhelm the nervous system and they trigger avoidance. So I was chatting to Chris Champion the other night when we were working on a podcast, and I was saying to him that, when I was very anxious and shy as a kid, the idea of taking on anything that felt challenging would just bring up massive anxiety. And in some ways, my mum sort of pushed me a bit hard sometimes to go out and try something, and I could get really overwhelmed. So it is a real balance of, if we look at safety versus risk, safety is what we're comfortable doing most of the time, what we do every day without even really thinking about it. And going to visit a friend, driving the car, making some phone calls. And yet, if you think about the first job you had, what were the kind of things that really brought up a lot of anxiety for you? And so when you look back at where you have felt anxious and maybe avoided doing some things, where haven't you done that? And they're the resources that are really useful for you to tap into. So here's a mix of different things that can be everyday small wins. And I've talked to a few clients about some of these things. They sound really simple, but to people who are really stuck in procrastination, just feel stuck, or experiencing depression on a regular basis, these things can be the difference between no shift and some shift. So waking up and making the bed. So if the alarm goes off, that you don't sit there and turn off the alarm and just lay there and then turn off the alarm and lay there. You've got to tell yourself the night before, I'm getting up when that alarm rings first time, and then get and making the bed. That creates momentum and that sets the tone for the whole day. Going for a 5-minute walk, even if you don't feel like exercising. So this is something I've done this week because I went on my Wales trip and I was away for about 3 weeks. And normally I go to the gym and go swimming. And I was doing a lot of walking in Wales, so I was racking up the steps. But when I came back, I was losing that momentum, and I was like, Mel, no, you need to get out and have a walk. So before I went to the mechanics today and dropped off the van, and rather than getting a taxi back straight away, I decided to go for a walk to the local shops and get a coffee. And the same as yesterday, we got a lovely country park around from us, and I walked all around there. So it's about making a decision to do something small, saying no once when something is draining and reclaiming that energy back, drinking one extra glass of water every day or every few hours, tiny but builds a self-care identity. Writing one single sentence in your journal. So, of course, we get some journal prompts with this 7 day challenge, and sending that one email that you've been putting off, and it clears that mental chatter. So things stay in our minds and permeate if we don't attend to them and sort them out. And for parents, having one joyful moment with a child instead of worrying about what is a perfect day. And of course, there was no way, and in fact, I don't know if I ever get to the idea of a perfect day. I'll tell you what happened this morning. No, last night. I was going to bed and I closed the curtains and I pulled them over a different way. They move over a different side of the curtain rail. It knocked off a hanger, and the hanger budged into the mirror on the wall and knocked the mirror off the wall, and it came crashing down. And I was absolutely exhausted when I went to bed last night, so I left it till this morning because I just really didn't fancy clearing up broken glass while being exhausted. And that's self-care and saying, do I need to deal with that right now? So, yeah, and it's not the only thing that's got broken today. So, can we make a perfect day? Also, I took my van to the mechanic today. My van is my part-time studio, and it's got all my Oracle and Tarot cards in there. So even though I brought out the lights and the stand so that I could do this live, I left 5 packs of Oracle cards on the back seat. So the mechanic's going to have some fun reading his own Oracle. So notice daily small wins. So I want you for the next few days, leave a comment of anything that you notice. The next few days, notice what your small wins have been. You know, is there something that you want to cook for ages and you decided to just go and get the ingredients? Or, just think about the different things that would be a small win for you. Then celebrate them every day. At the end of the day, say, what did I do well today? What 3 things did I manage to do that maybe I would have avoided? Say it out loud, write it down, share it in the comments, put it in your journal, and then stack them. So we put each of those daily wins into that stackable energy. I was avoiding and putting off going to the mechanics. It is a bit of it's further away, but he's a really decent guy. And he's sorted out my van a few times. And it was just the idea, the old part of me is like, the new part's like, come on, get on with it, do it. He's back. And actually, it was a really good job that I went yesterday. He's been away for 2 weeks. I knew he'd been away. And he's only home for a few more days before he goes to Italy. And I've got a very small window of time this time before I go on my next trip. So the affirmation for this is every step forward counts. And the journal prompt is, what's one small action I can take today that moves me closer to the life that I want? So, like I said, that sometimes the chaos just shows up. And yesterday was very chaotic. I wasn't expecting it to be really sunny 1 minute and then thunder and lightning all day. And I was in the country park. I couldn't record a thing. Zoom came on, then came off, came on, came off. So I think it was about 2 hours and I gave up and I came back home and I managed to record a few things, and then it all happened again before the live. And sometimes that does happen. Sometimes it feels like when you're really ready and you have said yes and you're really ready to move forward, is these little things just come in the way. Okay, so the Oracle card or the tarot card that goes along with this is the Page of Pentacles. And so if you've got any tarot with you, or even look it up online, even small journeys open big shifts. Okay, so a very small, simple shift for me is when I started going picking up my granddaughter from nursery, and it's absolute fun because we walk down the street, she chats to me, and sometimes we skip, and we just laugh and play, and it's very simple, and it's in the very simple things that when we add them up and stack them up every day and celebrate that every day, then that can make a massive difference. So tonight we've explored that the idea that big change doesn't come from massive leaps. It comes from the very little steps that we take every day, and the research shows it. Psychology confirms it, and our lived experience proves it too. A small win can be as simple as showing up when everything's against you, like taking a walk when you'd rather stay in bed, writing one sentence when you don't have a chapter in you, or saying no to one small thing that protects your energy. These little choices stack up. This shift is the shift that we will see in ourselves. They build trust in our own resilience. And when I was talking to Chris Champion about mental health, I said that we don't just look at risk factors, we also look at the resilience that we build up. And they create momentum that carries us forward. So if you do nothing else tonight, notice one small win that you've had today and celebrate it, because every step forward counts. And when you start stacking them up, the whole life begins to shift. Okay, so if you want to go further, carry on with the 7-day challenge, or you can contact me on any one of my videos has got links to Calendly where you can book in a session, or you can email me on mail gbb555@hotmail.com, and you can get the workbook then and the free ebook that's got lots of affirmations in there, so you can choose the ones that really resonate. And then just select, what really resonated with you. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And if you want to start the 30-day program, you can start that now, or you can start it at the end of the 7 days and just decide whether or not you do level 1 or level 2. Both are on YouTube. Level 2's been re-released for September. And I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you.